Hey everyone, it's we have a lunch live and I've got someone here. He's gonna go run and do lunch, but I wanted you guys to all meet Ray. Ray is my benchmate, or you know, we sit next to each other. Gigi's sitting next to you today too, but yeah, Ray is probably my closest friend I've met here at trial. We talk. He
local Boise boy.
Local Boise, and why? Tell us why you've been coming every day. What's your interest?
I've had a life change in my work ability, so I can come and watch this without having to skip work. And living here for my life, this is of interest in what's happening with the crime scene across the state. It's bad enough to have what's going on up in northern Idaho.
Yes.
We would like to think that we can do things the right way here in Idaho, in spite of not being able to have a live broadcast.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Right, it is. Yeah, so Ray is another eyes and ears in the courtroom, and he often helps me look at different things and we compare notes. So I wanted you guys to meet Ray. This is who I'm sitting next to each day.
Good
Thanks,
day.
Ray.
See
And
you.
thanks for the snack.
Yeah.
He also helped feed me today. So there's some great people I'm meeting in the trial. So today has been really interesting actually for me. The beginning started out with, here's the latest. First off, Lori today has some family in the courtroom today for the first time. She's had some friends, but she has family today. She has her Uncle Rex from St. George, Utah. It looks like her Uncle Rex is with a daughter. Rex is Janice's brother. No relation to, well, there's relation to everyone, but Janice's brother is Rex. He's here. Summer Shiflett, Lori's sister, is also in the courtroom today. I do not believe she is testifying today. So she is there. You know, she did get permission as a representative of Tylee to be in the courtroom before she testifies. So she is also there. Who else is there? There were a few other people, but so at the beginning today, that's John Pryor that just walked by, so that's why I was distracted. John Pryor continues to be here every day. Chad Daybell's attorney. It is going to help Chad, I think, prepare for his trial. So we started out with evidence today. We continued with Detective Stubbs' testimony. He concluded on Thursday, and he was here again today. You know, he brought up some really interesting, he brought up devices, how they found devices in the searches. He brought up how Chad Daybell Googled wind direction the day that he also texted Tammy and said that he had shot a raccoon and was burning limbs, tree limbs in the yard. So that was interesting, and there was a lot of sort of just details. The jury, I will admit, looked a little bored at one point. They were going through just evidence. They were submitting evidence. They were really kind of trying to push where or whose device was whose today, where they got each device, the search warrants for each device, being able to get into each device, confirming that it was all accurate and these were the devices that were found in the search warrant, et cetera, all those important things. And then there was a few other things he said that will be on today's streaming. Again, everyone join in with Hidden True Crimes live streaming of the trial. As soon as court is over, I rush home to where I'm staying, or I guess it's not home, it is home away from home, and wait for the court to release it. And the moment it's released, we are there live together. So I'll have the link as soon as possible. So then this is after, and then Stubbs, I do have to say, Stubbs also shared some really interesting wedding photos of Lori and Chad in Hawaii, ones that I had not seen before. You could tell they were taken at the same place. We've seen others that were on the web, but there were, lovey-dovey pictures I had not seen. I couldn't immediately find them on the web either. Maybe they're out there somewhere. I did not know about them. In addition to that, he showed a picture of Lori and Chad in Hawaii that was taken in front of the Hawaii temple. It was a selfie. I'd also not seen that. And then Detective Stubbs also explained that Lori and Chad went to Illinois. He was wrong with saying Illinois, and I remember I kept thinking, I think he means Missouri. He explains that they went to church history sites, Adam on Diamond. I put a link to that in my live tweets, twitter.com/hiddentruecrime. It's a church historic site that Joseph Smith proclaimed it a very important place in Mormon history, LDS history. And then also stated that Lori was there in Missouri. So he meant Missouri, he said Illinois, in Missouri. She was there when Tammy was shot at. I think that's what he said. Let me confirm. There are a lot of dates. We'll confirm together tonight. Forgive me if I'm getting a couple things wrong, but I'm pretty confident that's what he said, that she was traveling or in there in Missouri when... Does that make sense? I'm doubting myself now, but I swear that's what he said. I'll go back and check my live tweets. You guys can go back and check my live tweets too. So then we had another witness come up, this time, and now her name is, does anybody have her name? Did anyone see my tweets? I can't go to them or else I'll lose this live stream. I am going blank on her name. Nicole, it starts with an H, ends with a man. Nicole Heideman. She is with the FBI. She was an evidence technician, and she shared some really fascinating things with me. I put this also on Facebook. I thought it was so interesting. Took a screenshot, shared it on Facebook, where she went over all of Chad Daybell's search history on Google. I couldn't get every single detail and every single date, so we'll listen again together tonight at the streaming, but I got what I could. And he searched everything from not just the wind direction, but he searched a lot of Google searches about Ned Schneider. That is who he dubbed as Charles's zombie that went into zombies. So Chad was the one Googling about Ned Schneider. He Googled a Ned Schneider that died in Louisiana in 1995 and in 1996, one that was born in 1951. He was Googling possession of bodies. And then one really sad search to me was when he was searching, is a Leo and Taurus compatible, and is a Leo and is it Cancer compatible? June 26th is Lori's birthday. May 4th is Tammy's birthday. So I believe that Tammy is a Taurus. Thank you so much, Mabel. Thank you. Tammy is a Taurus, and whatever June 26th is it a Cancer? But he was Googling, Chad was Googling essentially who was more compatible with who, and a star sign for June 26th. It was really heartbreaking to see how would I say, almost frivolous and childish this is, when he's literally going to allow his wife to be murdered after Googling astrology matchmaking. It was really upsetting for me to see that. There were some other Google search results as well. Again, they're on twitter.com/hiddentruecrime and facebook.com/hiddentruecrime. Lori's Google searches. Lori had a lot of Google searches about JJ's service dog. Was trying to sell it on OfferUp, Craigslist. That was clear that she was doing that. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you. It was clear that she was trying to do that while in Arizona before moving to Rexburg. She had Google searches for Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg and their phone number. She had Google searches for children's insurance, a grow-up plan, children's life insurance, a grow-up plan. That was disturbing to see. She had, now again, I'm going blank again. Malachite rings. They both searched malachite rings. They both searched, and then it was on the day of Tammy's funeral that Lori was searching for Kauai wedding hosting and Kauai wedding dresses. I just can't imagine, picturing Chad and his children in Springville, Utah at Tammy's funeral while Lori is, at home in Rexburg or wherever she was. We got to figure out, was she in Illinois, Missouri, Rexburg? I don't know, probably Rexburg at that point. Again, we're going to figure this out tonight together. And searching wedding stuff. Oh, I think she would have had to have been in Rexburg, right? Because she had cookies. She had cookies for the kids in Rexburg, right? Where in the world is Lori Vallow Daybell when it comes to these crimes? Man, she was everywhere. I think that we're going to need to do a chart where she was flying and when. There are a lot of Allegiant flights, a lot of traveling from Hawaii to Missouri, Adirondack. That I think they stayed with Audrey there, to Rexburg, to Arizona, to Utah. So they were not staying put during all of this. Another thing that someone noted was that there were payments, or not payments, there was transactions between Hampton Inn and Motel 6, both in Rexburg and in Rigby, Idaho. And then I was waiting for information, like, what in the world is this about? And they kind of kept going. So I don't know. A lot of unfinished threads of information, and I was tweeting as fast as I could. Right, great idea. A chart of where in the world is Lori Vallow. Then another really interesting part was, for me at least, because we have all of the FOIA documents on patreon.com/hidden true crime. And when I say FOIA docs, I mean thousands of pages of evidence. A lot of what the prosecution has been sharing. We have it all on our Patreon account, and I have recently pinned that evidence at the top of our Patreon account. So if anybody wants to go in and look at that, it's patreon.com/hidden true crime, and then you just search for evidence release to get the other bits. I had directions on Patreon as well. But one thing that was really of interest to the Hidden True Crime team and people helping us research these thousands of pages was all of these different burner phones, all of these different phone numbers that each person had. When I say each person, I mean Alex, Lori, and Chad specifically, but also Melanie Boudreau, Zulema. And what was quite a mystery while reading was keeping these, not just keeping the numbers straight and trying to figure out whose is whose, but whose burner phone is whose, but also figuring out how they are saved in people's phones. For example, Lori's was often saved as Lily and Melanie Pulowski's phone. She was saved in Chad's phone as, or was Bishop Shumway, or Rebecca Shumway, or Bishop Miller. I mean, we are starting to finally learn who is who in everyone's phone, and I want to now go back and read these FOIA documents with new eyes and try to figure out who was texting what now. Another really interesting thing that we have been trying to figure out for months now is who was considered Spencer's wife. This Visions of Glory book I've often talked a lot about. It follows the story of Spencer. Spencer is a pseudonym. His real name is Tom Harrison, but he has this near-death experience, and John Pontius, the author of Visions of Glory, writes down Spencer's story. It's about a man named Spencer and his near-death experience and these visions of doomsday prophecies and evil spirits, and it's a book that's gotten a lot of attention, not for good reasons when it comes to this case. It's written by an LDS author. John Pontius died LDS. Spencer, again, is Tom Harrison. I've been in contact with him. He says he regrets the book and it was supposed to be metaphor. Anyway, all about Spencer. Chad Daybell loves Spencer. Mike Stroud, a podcaster who taught a lot of these strange beliefs. I'm doing a podcast right now. This is all on my mind. Talked a lot about Spencer. This group of believers, the Jason Maus, the Zulemas, the Melanie Gibbs, the Thors, the Chads, they love Spencer. So there is one phone that has been labeled as Spencer's wife in these FOIA documents. Well, we learned today whose it was, and it was not who any of us suspected, because I think we all assumed it would be a woman. It is Alex Cox. Alex Cox had a phone from October 2019 to January 2020. That was Spencer's wife, labeled Spencer's wife in Lori's phone, I believe. So we're gonna go with all that information later and start researching with newer eyes. I wrote all of that. I think there's gonna be a lot more after lunch as well. Yeah, the jurors are going to need a bulletin board and thumbtacks and a lot of string. Yeah, we need Justin Lum back here. Justin Lum, I think, had to go back to Arizona, but we need him to come back and because he has his board in his station with all the yarn and the string connecting all the dots. We've got to do a whole new one. Justin, get busy. We need you. We need you to make us a map of all these phone numbers. I think that I sense that there's going to be a really interesting afternoon. We're going to continue back with Nicole. And I have also heard that Dave Hope is here. Dave Hope is law enforcement, Detective Dave Hope. And a little interesting factoid about Dave Hope is, okay, speaking of strings and threads, Dave Hope investigated Tammy's death and was on this investigation a lot. Dave Hope, his son is married to Matt and Heather Daybell's daughter. Matt Daybell is Chad Daybell's brother. Heather Daybell is married to Matt. It's Chad Daybell's sister-in-law. We have a 3-hour interview with Heather Daybell on our channel that everybody should be watching. It is so important. She does explain that relationship, and she explains in detail how they had no idea that Detective Dave Hope, their daughter's father-in-law, was investigating the case. He kept it very professional. They were not involved, but it just goes to show how small Rexburg is, how tight this community is, and why they probably had to bring this case to Ada County, which is about 5 hours away from Rexburg. Just all these little interesting connections. So I don't know if he's testifying today, but he is here. He is here. And I'm sure we'll hear from him at some point. All right, that's the latest. I'm gonna go in and grab a bite to eat. I'm glad you guys were able to meet Ray. I mentioned Ray on our Saturday Night Live with Dr. John, so I wanted to introduce you guys to my bench buddy. He's helpful. He points things out that I don't see while my head is down live tweeting. So just another member of the HTC team. I've loved meeting so many even new people today. Come introduce yourself. I hear little tidbits of people being here and I don't know who they are. Please come introduce yourself to me. And then just a little preview for the week. Again, Summer Shiflett is here. I don't sense that she will be testifying today, but from the very first week, very first day, as they were submitting evidence, we did hear that there would be a jailhouse phone recording between Summer and Lori that was submitted into evidence. And we heard Colby's call. Nobody has heard Summer and Lori's call, but I do want to say I have been hearing from different sources about this call for several months. I've known that this call exists. I've never heard it. I have heard different things about this call. I think it's going to be a very big deal. I think it's going to be very emotional, and I think that I don't think it's going to be good for Lori. We'll say that. I am oddly glad to see family members here for Lori. I don't know why. I'm not saying whether or not she deserves it or anything like that. For some reason, it just feels like, everyone should have someone to support them, I guess. And so I'm happy to see some family for her here in the third week if you don't count jury selection. All right, everyone, I'm going to head back in. All right. Okay, guys. Oh, and I did wave to Summer. Obviously, I can't talk to her. She's a witness, but we did cross paths in the hallway, so we waved. And then I did also say hello to Uncle Rex, although I didn't talk to him. We have a couple randomly mutual friends where he lives. All right. That's it for now. I'm going to go grab some lunch. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So again, everyone come join it's not a live stream because it's after the fact, but it's a live chat. We will be watching the audio or listening to the audio together. I'll be on the stream for the most part, except for when I'm going live with News Nation, Banfield. I'll take off and then come back. But I've loved this community that they're forming with this audio where I can revisit. I don't get everything. I can revisit. I can talk. I can kind of sort of process the day's events with all of our gems. Thank you so much, Sandra. And I've been told that I need to slow the chat down a little bit more, so I'll do that tonight. And again, when I put that link up, just know that I put the audio up as soon as it comes down. So it's not that I'm late, it's that we're waiting for the court's audio. And then I stayed up all night. Actually, I stayed up till 5:30 a.m. Then I slept for like an hour. But I'm almost finished with this interview. I actually did finish this interview. And it would be playing for you guys here during court today. That was my plan. But my computer shut down while I was exporting this 2-hour interview. And so let's hope that that gets fixed as well today. All right, guys. Thanks for everything. Thanks for your support. And trying to think what else. Crush is here. The Woodcocks are here. I mentioned Larry. Larry's on a cane all the time, but he has been here every day of trial. He gave me a big hug this morning, a big reading. So did Kay. They're so strong. It's good to see Crusha here too. Thank you so much, Lori. And Lori's family, someone said that she read Lori's family is sitting on the prosecution side. Yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, most victims sit on one side and the public sits on the other. So I don't know if it's necessarily prosecution, but there is a divide between the public and like not just victims, but family of victims, friends, people that want a little bit more privacy, or people we're not supposed to talk to, witnesses. So, all right, guys. Lori has been taking notes. She's been pretty active in today. The jurors looked a little bored this morning, but they're back to taking notes, and I am able to see some of their notebooks. And it is interesting. Some jurors have maybe written like 3 pages of notes in 3 weeks, and someone else is on their second notebook. You know, different jurors manage the caseload differently. Okay, we'll see you guys. See you tonight for our live stream. Let your friends know. It's a great community we have during this trial, and I'm trying to think. And hopefully, again, we'll have an interview later today. Just hit notifications, because I'm going to be going live at all sorts of hours at night, because if I finish these podcasts and interviews at 2 a.m., that might be when I post them. So, okay, hit notifications, and we'll see you guys. Bye.